So today we are going to discuss about the theories regarding the test of truth and the theories regarding meaning. So there are three popular theories regarding the test of truth, and they are the correspondence theory of truth, the coherence theory of truth, and the pragmatic theory of truth. So what does the correspondence theory of truth says? The correspondence theory of truth says that a proposition or a belief is true only if it corresponds with facts. That is, a proposition or belief, a statement is true only if it corresponds with actual state of affairs of the factual world, and in doing so it must have one-to-one correspondence. The proposition or statement must have one-to-one correspondence with the actual matters of fact. And what does the coherence theory of truth says? So there is another test theory regarding the test of truth, which is the coherence theory of truth. And according to the coherence theory of truth, a proposition or a statement is true only if it fits into our existing system of beliefs. That is, only if it coheres or is in harmony, or there is a kind of logical entailment between our existing system of beliefs, our existing web of ideas. And if a statement or a belief perfectly fits into or coheres or is in harmony with our existing system of beliefs, or with our existing web of ideas, then the said proposition or statement is said to be true, because it is in conformity or in harmony with our existing system of beliefs. And thirdly, we have the pragmatic theory regarding the test of truth, which says that a proposition is true only if and if it has practical utility. That is, if a statement is workable, if a statement is instrumental, or it is workable and has practical applicability, it is true. So the pragmatic theorist will say that the a proposition to be true has to has to have some practical consequences which can be empirically verifiable. So these practical consequences of the statement will lead to its truth or falsity. So if the statement works, okay, if the statement works, or if the statement has some practical value, if the statement is instrumental in achieving our purpose, then that statement is true for the pragmatist. So these are the three theories regarding the test of truth. However, we see that in the correspondence theory of truth, which says that a proposition or a belief is true if and only if it corresponds with actual state of affairs, if and only if it corresponds with a fact, we see that this proposition is somewhat limited. That is, this theory is somewhat limited. So if correspondence theory regarding the test of truth is to be taken, then we will find certain limitations, because we see that the proposition, for example, the cat is on the mat. The proposition the cat is on the mat is true according to the correspondence theory of truth if and only if it corresponds to the fact, if and only if the cat is really is sitting on the mat in the factual state, in the factual world. However, as I have already mentioned, that as finite beings, we have only limited access to the facts around us, and so any proposition made cannot be factually true in the absolute sense of the term. Okay, they cannot be factually true in the absolute sense of the term. It can only be true in the limited sense of the term. That is to say, when a statement is made that a cat is on the mat, it is true only in the context of the time period. It is true only in the context of the it is strictly time bound, because the cat will not be sitting there till eternity on the mat. It is only, for example, the statement will only have its validity for a certain limited time. Okay, so we see that this correspondence theory regarding the test of truth, you know, is has some certain drawbacks, because as factual beings we can only have access to limited facts, and any statement made in the factual world regarding the matters of fact, it will only be in finite or limited ways. It cannot be absolute or unchangeable way of the term. It cannot be used absolutely or in the unchangeable sense of the term. And regarding the coherence theory of truth, or the coherence theory um, of test of truth, we see that in the coherence theory regarding the test of truth, the problem here lies with the fact that the coherence theory regarding the test of truth, the ideas that a statement or proposition is true if and only if it fits into it coheres or is in harmony with our existing system of beliefs. So, the coherence theory of truth, the existing system of beliefs that it talks about, or the existing web of ideas that we carry in our mind, is something very subjective. And truth has to be something objective. It has to be something that is empirically verifiable. And here we see that correspondence theory regarding the test of truth is, at least, although it may be limited, it is at least empirically verifiable, or at least it is at least objective. It is at least objective. But when idea is entertained by a certain person just because it fits into his existing system of beliefs, it is something which is subjective. Okay, and so we see that this is the problem with coherence theory of truth, because the coherence theory of truth talks about talks about a statement to be true only if it fits into our existing system of beliefs. And this system of beliefs, or the web of ideas that the coherence theory of truth talks about, is something which is subjective. And thirdly, we see that in the pragmatic theory of truth, a statement is true. There are the pragmatist theories, pragmatic philosophers like John Dewey, like William James, and like Charles Pierce Sanders, or Charles Sanders Peirce. I'm not sure. Charles Pierce Sanders will say that a statement to be true has to have some practical value. So what William James will say that for a belief to be true, a useful belief is something which is true. Truth is something which is a belief is true only if it is useful, and only if it has some practical value. And what Dewey will say, Dewey will say that a statement is true. Okay, a statement is true only if it is instrumental. Okay, that is a statement or proposition is true. Anything that works is true. That is, for Dewey, the instrumentality or the practical applicability of the statement will render it to be either true or false. So if the statement leads to useful purposes, if the statement has its utility or instrumentality, then it will be a true statement for Dewey. And for Charles Pierce Sanders, he will say that Charles will say that any practical statement, that is any statement in the pragmatic sense of the term, is something which is tentative. Okay, so truth for the pragmatic philosophers is something tentative. Why it is tentative? Because it is always open to be scrutinized by further evaluation. So truth cannot be something rigid, as we have seen that the defect with the correspondence theory of truth is that truth appears to be something rigid, something strictly time bound. When I say that the statement the cat is on the mat is true if and only if the cat is on the mat. It's like the cat is, is going to sit on the mat till eternity. But it is not like that. It is strictly, the correspondence theory of truth is something which is strictly time bound. But here, in the pragmatic test regarding, in the pragmatic theory regarding the test of truth, we see that the pragmatist entertain a truth as something tentative. Tentative in the sense, it is something which is always open to be further evaluated. It is always open to be further revisited. So it can always be, it is always open for further, inquiry. It is always open to be further inquired or to be further investigated into. So truth for the pragmatic philosophers is something which is very tentative. It is something which is very, it is something exploratory. That is, it can be revisited in the future. It can be evaluated in the future to test whether a statement is actually workable or instrumental or not in getting our, in fulfilling our purpose, whether a statement is actually instrumental. Its instrumentality is something which can be reevaluated in the future. So it is something which is exploratory. It is something which is open for future possibilities. Unlike the correspondence theory of truth, which is only a statement is only valid for the in the context of the time period it is made. And the problem with the coherence theory regarding the test of truth is that for the coherence theory regarding the test of truth, a proposition or a statement is true if and only if it fits into the our existing web of ideas. But ideas or a system of beliefs are something which is very subjective, and also we see that subjective ideas cannot be empirically verifiable. And because it cannot be empirically verifiable, it is also not objective, and it is something even sometimes systematic misleading expressions, as Ryle will say, systematic misleading expressions there can be harmony or coherence between even systematic misleading expressions. But does that systematic misleading expressions actually fits into the definition of truth in the strict sense of the term? No, because we may remain in a delusional bubble, where there is a coherence among our existing system of beliefs. But this delusional bubble, or this web of ideas, which is something subjective and we carry in our mind, may not necessarily corresponds with fact, may not necessarily be objective. But this actually renders truth to be something very subjective. And the problem with this is the problem with the coherence theory of truth, because here we see that even there may sometimes be coherence or harmony even between systematic misleading expressions, but that does not render the system of beliefs which are founded upon systematic misleading expressions to be true. Okay, so this is a drawback with the coherence theory of truth. And then in the pragmatic theory, in the pragmatic test of truth, we have the problem is sometimes even a false belief may be useful, but that does not mean that the belief is true, isn't it? So what happens is that we see that these three theories regarding the test of truth, they are both, the three theories regarding the test of truth are kind of necessary, but they alone are insufficient to kind of find out whether the statement is actually true or false. So, a statement to be true in the proper sense of the term has to be something which corresponds with fact. Okay, so it has to be something which corresponds with fact, and not only that, it has to fit into our existing system of beliefs, which are empirically verifiable, and which has practical value. Okay, so this would be the proper, the proper holistic test regarding truth. That is, a statement is true if it definitely corresponds with fact, and not only that, it has to it has to fit into, or it has to be in harmony with our already existing system of beliefs, which is empirically verifiable. And it is not only has not it not only has to be empirically verifiable, but it has to have some practical importance or practical value for us. So this would be a proper holistic approach regarding the test of truth. So we see that the correspondence theory regarding the test of truth, the pragmatic theory regarding the test of truth, and the coherence theory regarding the test of truth, they are all necessary, but alone they are insufficient to determine whether a statement is true or false. But together they can they can present a holistic approach regarding the test of truth. And regarding the theories regarding the theories about meanings, we have the referential theory of meaning, which is very much associated with the correspondence theory of truth, and the picture theory of truth. Okay, so the referential theory of meaning, as entertained by philosophers like Frege and the early works of Wittgenstein in Tractatus, says that the meaning of the word is the object that it stands for. Okay, the meaning of the word is the object that it refers to or that it denotes. And the picture theory regarding meaning, the picture theory of meaning is a theory entertained by Wittgenstein in his early work Tractatus, where he says that language is something which mirrors the world. So language mirrors the world. So language is a picture of reality through propositions, and language presents a pictorial representation of possible state of affairs. So this is what Wittgenstein says regarding the picture theory of meaning. So we see that his picture theory of meaning is very much very much associated with the correspondence theory of truth, which says that a proposition or belief is true if and only if it corresponds with fact. So also a proposition is true if and only if it mirrors the world, the factual world. A proposition is true if and only if it is a pictorial representation of possible state of affairs. And a proposition is true if and only if it pictures the reality. So we see that this correspondence theory of truth and the picture theory regarding regarding meaning, that is picture theory of meaning, are very much associated. Second, we have the coherence theory of truth. As I have already mentioned, that according to the coherence theory of truth, a statement is true if it fits into our existing system of beliefs. So this coherence theory of truth, and we on one hand we have the coherence theory of truth, and on other hand we have the ideational theory of theory regarding meaning. What is this ideational theory regarding meaning? It says that the meaning of a word is the image or the idea that it provokes. So we have seen in the referential theory of meaning, the meaning of the word is the object that it refers to. But in the ideational theory of meaning, as entertained by John Locke, we see that the meaning of the word is the idea or the image that it provokes. Okay, it is the mental representation that a word provokes. But we see that the drawback here is that the image or the idea that a certain word may provoke is something very, very subjective, because it has its locus in the neuropsychological structure of the hearer or the utterer. So the image or the mental representation that a certain word may evoke, the idea that the certain word may evoke, has its locus in the neurostructural in the neuropsychological structure of the listener or of the hearer, or the speaker. So in that way, what happens, the ideational theory of meaning, just like the coherence theory of meaning, coherence theory of truth, becomes somewhat subjective, because certain word may evoke certain image in one person differently than that of other. So it is also something subjective, and it has its locus only in the neuropsychological structure of both the speaker and the speaker or the utterer, and the listener or the hearer. So here, just like the coherence theory regarding the test of truth, the ideational theory of meaning is also somewhat subjective. And so this is the problem here. And we have, lastly, we have the use theory of meaning. Okay, so which is entertained by later Wittgenstein, where he says that the meaning of the word lies in its context. Okay, the meaning of the word lies in the context in which it is used. Okay, it is its utility that renders a word its meaning. Okay, how the word is used, the context in which it is used is will determine the meaning of a word. So this is very much associated with the practical theory of truth, which says that a statement is true if and only if it has some practical value. And so also here Wittgenstein says that the meaning of the word lies in its use, in its practical utility, in the context in which it is used. So what Wittgenstein will say, that names and symbols, they are all dead in themselves. So it is only their use, it is only how they are used, it is their use that their use or their utility that makes them alive. So in themselves, a symbol is dead, but the context in which it is used will make it alive. So this is what Wittgenstein says. Here we see that a certain symbol may have a different meaning somewhere, and it may have yet another different meaning somewhere else. So for example, the symbol swastika, when used in a Hindu temple, when used in Hinduism, it is used in the context of peace and prosperity. However, the symbol swastika may have a different context in Germany, because there the symbol is used in a different context. So this is what Wittgenstein would say, that a symbol itself in itself is dead, but it is its use that renders it to be alive. That is, in Hinduism, the symbol will mean peace and prosperity, but somewhere else in Germany, it may have a whole different meaning regarding how it has been used. So this is where Wittgenstein says that the symbol or a word derives its meaning from the context in which it is used. Okay, so similarly, a certain symbol or certain word may evoke a different image, a different idea here, but the same symbol or same image may evoke certain ideas somewhere else, and this is further determined by its use. That is how the certain word or the symbol is, how we are habituated or conditioned or programmed in in entertaining a certain idea about a symbol. So just like I said, the symbol swastika in Hinduism is used in the context of peace and prosperity, and so definitely the image or the idea that it evokes will be associated with peace and prosperity. But somewhere else in Germany, since that symbol has been habituated or programmed or conditioned to be used in a different context, the ideas which will be associated with that very symbol would be something very different from the ideas associated in its usage in the context of Hinduism. So this is basically the three theories regarding the test of truth and the three theories regarding meaning. Okay, so firstly, the referential theory of meaning would say that the meaning of a word is the object that it stands for. The ideational theory of meaning would say that the meaning of a word is the mental image or the mental representation or the idea that it evokes. And thirdly, the use theory of meaning would say that the meaning of the word lies in the context in which it is used. And together with these theories of meaning, we also have the three theory regarding the test of truth. And what are the three theories regarding the test of truth? The correspondence theory regarding the test of truth, which says that a belief or a proposition is true if it corresponds with the state of the factual world. And secondly, we have the coherence theory of truth, which will say that a statement or a belief is true if it fits into, or if it coheres or is in harmony, or there is a logical entailment between our existing system of beliefs. And thirdly, we have the pragmatic theory regarding the test of truth, which says that a statement is true only if it works. That is, the instrumentality of the statement will render whether a statement is true or false. So, a statement which has practical applicability, which has practical consequences that can be empirically verifiable, and that is instrumental in deriving our purpose, is true for the pragmatic philosophers. Okay, thank you.